HD remakes.
When is enough enough? Today, on August 5th, 2014, Capcom announced that they are re-releasing the Resident Evil remake that came out on the GameCube in 2002. They're re-releasing it in HD for PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. 1080p, all up-res and whatnot. It looks really good. So basically, and this has been a trend. This is a big trend last generation, especially on the PS3, with HD remakes of just about everything. And now it looks like we're going through it again. Square Enix released the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, which was, you know, a bumped-up version of Tomb Raider. They're coming out with the Master Chief Collection. The Last of Us Remastered came out recently. You know, it just seems like this growing trend of re-releasing old games in an HD format. I mean, sometimes it's a good remastering, and sometimes it's just lazy up-resing.
Now, Tomb Raider came out right before the new consoles came out.
Right.
So, Square Enix made it, right?
Yeah.
Square Enix said they declared it a failure. It sold like a decent amount, but it didn't sell as much as they wanted it to.
Right.
So when the new consoles came out, they decided, for whatever reason, they were going to re-release it. And it sold way better the second time. I mean, it didn't outsell the original, but I guess they didn't overmake them. They didn't overshoot it, so they made their money back.
Yeah.
So it worked out well for them.
Mm-hmm.
I am not one to play games more than once.
Right.
Even games that I love, unless they're like older, like I've played Sonic like 1,000 times. But yeah, I'm not one to replay a game. But The Last of Us Remastered, kind of interested in that because the graphics,
which is weird because they show you the before and after picture, and I don't remember Last of Us looking that bad on PS3.
I know.
Like, it's night and day. It's really weird.
I never had a problem with Last of Us. I never thought for a second that anything looked glitchy or like
it's kind of the same with the Resident Evil remake, because I remember that on the GameCube. It looks beautiful. It still holds up, but now you look at this new HD version and like you go back to the original and everything's blurry and it's not as crisp and it's weird.
Now, are they adding anything to this?
They are
to the Resident Evil.
They're giving it a 16:9 display support.
All right.
New control scheme in addition to the original control scheme. That's a big deal.
Why is that a big deal?
Because the original Resident Evil control scheme is terrible.
Do you mean control scheme or camera angle?
Control scheme. Like, where you point the analog stick will determine where the character moves as opposed to always pushing up to move.
As opposed to going forward like a car?
Yeah.
Like a remote control car?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
That's what that is.
I don't know.
So.
I don't think that's that big of a deal.
It could change.
If they redid the whole thing in like Resident Evil 4 style.
That's what I'm holding out for.
Like, that would be ridiculous.
I'm holding out for an RE2 remake in RE4 style. I will...
Well, don't hold your breath because it's gonna accidentally end up like RE6.
Probably, yeah.
Is this gonna be like a $60 game?
No, it's gonna be downloadable.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Probably be like $10, $15.
Yeah, $15 the most.
$10, $15, $20, $25, $30.
But it's interesting because now here's another game that came out a while ago, and now they're re-releasing it as basically a brand new package in HD for X amount of dollars, so. It's just like, at what point do we say stop releasing HD versions of everything?
Now, I was going to say that the Halo remakes were dumb.
Yeah.
They don't have to do that. But they look really good.
Yeah.
And I haven't played any of the Halo campaigns, except for ODST. I played a little bit of that, and it was garbage. That was a terrible game. But that makes me want to play through the Halos.
Yeah.
Because I really do want to play through the Halos, and I would do it with that, but it's Xbox One, and I'm not buying an Xbox.
Well, that's another...
If it was PC, maybe.
Here's my thing. I am for HD remakes, because everybody talks about, it's a cash grab, it's, money, they're running ideas.
If they do it really well.
Here's the thing. I never played Shadow of the Colossus originally.
Oh, yeah.
I got, my hands on the PS3 version of it. And I played that. and it's dated very much, but I enjoyed my time with it.
That looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
It has to be done really well. The remake, like The Last of Us.
It has to be worth it.
The Last of Us, it came out last year.
Yeah.
It's still $50 for the remake.
Yeah.
So it's $10 cheaper, but they have all this. You have all the DLC in it and everything.
Yeah.
Of course, you have all the DLC in it. That's the way Tomb Raider was too.
Yeah.
But that camera mode.
Yeah, that looks
That's
cool.
crazy. Where you can just pause the game and move the camera around and
Yeah.
take pictures and stuff. It looks insane because the game's so beautiful. They're like, let's throw in a camera.
The thing is, like, especially now, these consoles are not backwards compatible with last generation, so there needs to be a way for gamers to play games that they may have missed the first time around.
Right.
If that means HD remakes, then so be it. Like,
I mean, a lot of games do warrant an HD remake.
right.
This might have been a little early for a Last of Us HD remake. Well, actually, no, because it came out at the end of the console cycle. So
I mean, right now we're stuck in this weird transitional phase, so it sort of makes sense. But I mean,
like my teenage years.
Yeah. If down the road, like maybe 3 years into this new console generation, somebody says, "Hey, let's do an HD remake of, I don't know, Blinks the Cat," and then they just keep, Blinks the Cat. That's the first thing that came to mind, and they just keep, pumping out all these HD remakes. Is that a good thing? Like, do we want?
Well, it depends on the game.
Yeah.
It has to be like a critically acclaimed game. And they have to add stuff to it. It can't just be the game. Or it could just be the game, but it has to be really cheap.
Yeah.
Apparently what they do in Resident Evil. I'm okay with it if it's cheap, but if they're going to try to get like $40 out of me for this garbage, I'm not going to do it. I got it on GameCube.
Yeah.
Don't need this. New control scheme. 16:9. That's not a feature.
You can switch,
that's expected.
You can switch back and forth between 4:3 and 16:9.
Why would I ever want to?
In case you really want to experience how it used to be.
Now, a game that I would like an HD remake for. A game that I've always been wanting to go back and play.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption.
Yes.
I would take an HD remake on that.
That would be nice.
I'll also take an HD remake of Metal Gear Solid. Any of them. I will take an HD remake.
Well, we have the HD collection of 2, 3, and Peace Walker.
Right.
Yeah.
Peace Walker was awesome. That was a great...
They need to do the original in HD. That's what they need to do.
I'm very happy they redid Peace Walker for the consoles because I heard that was like the best Metal Gear game and I needed to get a chance to play it. I haven't even beat it. I got through it. It's most definitely handheld game.
Yeah.
I would love to have the Metal Gear Game Boy Color game ported to something
that would
else.
be nice.
Maybe a virtual console version because that is one of the highest rated games of all time.
Yeah.
And nobody cares about it.
I would like to see, because right now a lot of the HD remakes are focused on like the PS2, GameCube, Xbox era, or the, Xbox 360, PS3, Wii era. And those are easy, to be honest. Those are easy to HDify because that's just like adding textures and blowing up the image to 720 or 1080, whatever. I want to see, older games like Genesis and SNES era or N64, PS1 era games because, especially the N64, PS1 era, those games look like garbage. Mm-hmm. So that they have to completely revamp and
N64
redo.
would be very difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's the first time they were dealing with the 3D world.
Yeah.
And the controls are all wacky.
Yeah.
Like going back to playing GoldenEye if you haven't after a while is
the Perfect Dark remake that came out a few years back on the 360 was that did a really good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I mean, it's possible. It's just, something like that actually has to take work. And then but then you run into real quick we'll talk about it. You run into like all the side-scrolling games from the 16-bit and 8-bit era.
Right.
How do we HD that? Because for the most part, a lot of that pixel art looks just fine. Right. So, I remember the Earthworm Jim had an HD version not too long ago. Yeah, and that it wasn't the pixel art, but it was more like cartoony in a way. Or a better example, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix.
Right.
That was completely redrawn.
I don't think we need like an HD remake of something like Sonic 3 or anything, but they could do that in the style of, I guess, Sonic Generations.
Well, you got to be careful because, when you because if you blow up, because those games are only made for like this small of a screen.
Right.
You blow them up to 1080 and everything gets stretched and distorted and whatnot, and it doesn't look all that good. So you need to find a way to make it look.
Just make the camera bigger.
Yeah. You need to find a way to make it look big without being stretched.
Well, they have that Mario Maker.
Yes.
For the Wii U. That's a really good idea because you hit a button and it switches between old school Mario and new school Mario.
Right, but that that's not the original sprite work. That's like a remake of the sprite work to make it the proper size for a 1080p screen.
Yeah, but that's a good. If they have the whole Mario game, which I'm assuming they're gonna,
yeah,
that would be a perfect remake.
Yeah.
Just and the Halo, the Halo 1 when they remade that. They also had a button to switch between old school
Halo 2 on
graphics.
Master Chief Collection is going to do the same thing.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about HD remakes? Have they gone too far?
Are there any that you like that you've played?
Are there any that you'd like to see?
Are there any that you were really disappointed in? I hear Silent Hill 2 and 3 was like one of the worst HD collections.
Really?
Ever of all time.
Was it just the same game?
It was, but like it wasn't very like HDified, and the thing is, because that game is all based around like the fog.
Oh yeah, because they had a terrible draw distance.
Yeah, but like it helped like create atmosphere, but now then they didn't have to do it. They decreased the fog and it ruined the atmosphere.
Oh well.
That's fine.
Like if you like.
Subscribe if you really like.
Thank you very much. Share us with your friends. We're on TGN Network.
Woo!
Hashtag TGN Army.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Have a good week. Overcollecting is, simply put, collecting more than you have the necessary room for. It can be in regards to anything. Comic books, a video game collection, statuettes, action figures, DVDs and Blu-rays, anything.
I learned how to play video games at a very, very young age. So young that me and my older brother don't remember how our NES came to be in our house. It was always just there.